Tetris Effect is a game that has sold itself almost entirely on its aesthetic flair. Like, this game's trailer blows me away. It is just so beautiful. But the game in actuality has a surprising lack of flash, but also a surprising amount of substance. As always, I'm Alex, and this is First 5, where I ask if games are worth your time, not your money. I played a game for 5 hours, and I'm gonna tell you if those were 5 hours well spent. And today, we're revisiting the granddaddy of video games in Tetris Effect. Let me just get this off my chest first. It's Tetris, guys. You probably know whether Tetris is a game you like or not. If you don't like Tetris, this game won't change your mind. But if you do enjoy Tetris, the question then becomes, is there something about this version that makes it worth buying and playing over the other 5 Tetris games you've already gotten over the years? Could there possibly be a way to evolve Tetris's formula without changing its time-tested design? The developers at Enhanced Games have tried their absolute damnedest to make the answer to that question yes. This isn't trying to be Tetris the video game, this is Tetris the full sensory experience. The only thing it's missing is smell-o-vision. The game was definitely designed first and foremost for VR, and if you actually have the equipment to play it that way, yeah, Tetris Effect is probably worth the buy-in. But for the rest of us mere mortals not on the cutting edge of the early adopter bell curve, it isn't quite the transcendent experience it's posturing as. It is extremely pretty, to be sure, but when confined to a TV, Tetris Effect's sounds and visuals still only amount to a series of very shiny neon Tetris board skins. The backgrounds are sharp and have a little pop to them, but most of them are also pretty basic. Aside from a few very notable exceptions, it's a far cry from what we saw in the trailer. And when Tetris blocks are falling at 1,000,000 miles an hour, you're not going to have time to look at the background anyway. The music is similarly on the simple end, mostly ambient beats with some occasional soothing lyrics over the top. This is all to make space for the player, whose every move produces more notes over the background music. In essence, moving the Tetris blocks around is meant to make the melody, while also giving audio feedback for your every move to make you more quote-unquote in tune with the action. But for me personally, there was only really 1 or 2 stages where the pace of my movements matched the song's tempo, and I felt myself actually appreciating it. Overall, Tetris Effect's music and visuals are oozing with that very specific new agey version of Zen spiritualism, the kind your college roommate goes on about for an hour before asking you to pass the peyote. To the game's credit, it's all well executed, but nothing revolutionary. I'm going to talk money for a rare moment here and say that new paint isn't enough to warrant a $40 purchase, and you can call me a cynic, but that's most of what this all amounts to. Luckily, Tetris Effect's effects aren't its only selling point. It's also got so many different game modes that I could probably fill up all 5 minutes just describing all of them. The main one is Journey Mode, a campaign that will take you through all of the game's myriad boards. It's very close to vanilla Tetris, but it also makes one very important change. Instead of starting slow and consistently ramping up until you lose, Journey Mode leaps up and down in speed. I could imagine this frustrating some Tetris diehards, but for someone of middling skill like me, Journey Mode fell into an engaging rhythm where I would desperately scramble through the fast sections, then spend the slow parts methodically fixing the mistakes I made and working down through my board in preparation for the next spike. And once you make it to the end, Tetris Effect lets you challenge all 27 stages in one epic run. But Tetris Effect also comes with a ton of side modes. Some of them are focused on developing specific skills, such as a mode that asks you to make as many combos as you can, or clear 40 lines as quickly as possible. But there are also a bunch of cool modes that change how you think about and play Tetris. My personal favorite is this target mode, where the objective is to clear a specific target block as quickly as possible. It requires a completely different strategy from standard play. Or this other mode called Purify, where incomplete rows of blocks periodically appear at the bottom, and you have to clear through them to bank dark blocks as quickly as possible. There are a ton of interesting little ways to play. There's also the introduction of the Zone, an ability you can activate periodically to freeze time. You can complete lines in this mode for bonus points, but crucially, it doesn't advance your cleared lines toward the next level. In Journey Mode, you can use it to give yourself a little bit of breathing room if the board gets too crazy, but it won't beat the level for you. So now we're looking at some real value here, but is it enough? In Composite, what do you get out of 5 hours with Tetris Effect? Clearing Journey Mode will take you 2 to 3 hours, give or take. But once you've done that, you can try a higher difficulty or keep at the side modes for as long as you want. 5 hours is enough time to window shop through everything Tetris Effect has to offer. But this is Tetris we're talking about. You can sink as many hours into this game as you want, and even some of the side modes have a lot of replayability. At the very least, the scoring system tells me that I've got a long way to go. Tetris Effect is unquestionably a good game, but whether it's worth picking up or not is going to be pretty situational. If you don't own a version of Tetris, now is a perfectly good time to buy one. But for everyone else, you're going to have to decide if a facelift and a solid lineup of side modes brings enough to the table. Speaking just for myself, Tetris Effect never once comes close to matching the incredible beauty of its own trailer. But Tetris has always been an amazing game, and the side modes put this version over the top and made it worthwhile. But this game is going to mean something a little different for every person who plays it, so your mileage may vary. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this first 5 review. If you did, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button. If you're looking for games that value your time and don't pad themselves, I'm your guy. And be sure to check out some of my other reviews or some longer form content while you're here. But regardless, thanks for watching this far, and I'll see you all next week.